This guy probably. He's going to want to follow his trainer. But, yeah, so now he's a stray war mastiff. And if we go back to Dwarf Therapist, click Read Dwarves, look at our animals, and let's search for nothing, and then Mastiff. His stats are actually not very good, but being a War Mastiff is going to make him even stronger than than when he was just a regular Mastiff. And actually, apparently he got named, so he must have been adopted. Let's check. Well, somebody named him. He doesn't have an owner, but he inherited and got a name. These guys right here, you can see, are dragging that stone up. They're just dragging it. It's very heavy. Except for the miner. That miner is strong. Let's look at him. This is Mesthos, the expedition leader. See how quickly he's moving, even though he's dragging stone? Let's look at him. And sort by value. He is very strong, mighty for a dwarf. Not very tough, fairly agile. So, he's able to move items very quickly, even though these other guys are pretty slow. And the act of dragging things and performing labors does increase their attributes, makes them stronger. I hear combat. Rooster is fighting. So yeah, the rooster is apparently biting the hen. I don't know why. He's just not happy with the hen for some reason and wants to pick a fight. It's kind of annoying. Let's see, we've got some migrants. Only 2. That's unfortunate. Go ahead, select all, run optimize. Let's make sure I have the right optimization plan selected. And I'm actually going to remove that one, just because I know that this one works. And I was doing it more as an example. So optimize, commit. Okay. And again, since I am working on some stuff here, I just want to re-enable all hauling for now. When we have like 50 to 100 dwarves, I'm going to stop doing that, but when we only have 12 dwarves, I really need them all to be working. It's a much bigger deal to have inactive dwarves when your fort is small than when it's large. Okay, so apparently our little gosling here that was a pet grew up, which means I can either keep him in that caged room so that he, isn't going to get murdered or killed or anything. But I think I already have some geese over here, so I might as well place him in this pasture now. Let's go ahead and find that. Let's search for goose, and let's go ahead and put our other goose in here. Auto Butcher is never going to kill him because he's named. He cannot be butchered. Why is it flashing? That's interesting. So as soon as they've got all this stone dragged out, I will be able to demonstrate how to make the magma floor. What they're doing is actually called quantum stockpiling. Normally, you can only place one item per tile. Notice how the hematite here... What are you doing with that hematite? You are dumping that? Why? Don't dump that. That's silly. Did I somehow accidentally dump more of this? Yeah. He was dragged... This guy's doing it too. Why are you hauling the hematite over there? I did not say to dump that. Don't do that. And now this guy's doing it. Stop it! You little dumb people. Don't dump the hematite. Leave it in the stockpile. Thank you. Anyway, so notice how they're only allowed to put one hematite per tile. But if we click here, we can see that we've got a lot of stone. And it's just a weird mechanic where in certain situations you're able to stack items. You can do it with the dump command. You can do it by dropping things off of cliffs. You can do it with minecarts. And in general, it's just called quantum stockpiling. It's where you put an infinite number of items in one spot. Another example would be that you would only expect to be able to put one animal in a cage, but you can put infinite cats in a cage. Somehow they all fit. Don't really know how or why, but they do. So, what are you doing? He has some sort of a, that icon, that flashing thing. He's drowsy. Okay. So, we've got these rooms here, so I'm going to make this into, not a dining room, but let's make a couple studies. We can make them small, they don't really have to be big. So that'll be a study. That can be a study. That one as well. And that one as well. And now I'm going to go through, and this is the one time I do actually pick out my dwarfs individually. I'm going to go to the roles screen, and I want to find out who's going to be the best broker. Sigun. He is a miner, so I don't want to use him. A bookkeeper is going to be, generally I want to have the weakest person be the bookkeeper. This guy's a stone crafter. Hammer dwarf. I'm going to go with this stone crafter here. So Solon. And what I usually do is I like to just nickname them their job titles so that I know exactly what they are no matter what. So I'm going to name you bookkeeper. And then I'm going to commit changes. And when I go back to the game, now I can go to my noble screen, go down to bookkeeper. I'm going to replace, and I can just see bookkeeper very clearly. That is the guy that I want to be my bookkeeper. If I hadn't done that, I could also use S to search, and I could just search for his name, or I can search for bookkeeper. And, but, you know, so there he is. So you're now my bookkeeper. This require lets me know that he, as a noble, requires something. So we can press enter to see his situation. He needs a meager office and needs a modest dining room. So let's go ahead now and assign him one of these offices. So we'll assign this chair to the bookkeeper. I want to make this whole thing here into a dining room and give him the table. And now when we go back to the noble screen, we can see that it's turned to yellow, which means that he needs a meager office, and he has a meager office. He needs a modest dining room, and I've given him a meager dining room. So he's not happy about the quality of his dining room, but he does have one. So he'll work. I mean, he'll do the job. Let's go ahead and change the settings for the bookkeeper. And usually I just start right off. I just put it at the highest precision. I'm okay with having one dwarf do like nothing except for keep track of my stuff. That's fine with me. But for the sake of consistency and just being thorough, let me explain what all this junk means, because again, I don't think it's very intuitive. 77 to 80? What? What does that mean? Well, you have 5 settings that you can have your bookkeeper at. Lowest, low, medium, high, and highest. What this means is that if you had 77 of an item and you had your precision set to the lowest number, it would show up as about 80. If you had 777 of an item and you were on the lowest precision level, it would show up as plus or minus 800, about 800. That little downward staircase thing is actually supposed to be the right arrow. So it's telling you 77 becomes 80, 777 becomes 800, 7,777 becomes 8,000, etc. So as you move down and increase your precision, the lowest precision level here, 77, would show as 77. 777 would show as 780. So you can see you've basically increased your accuracy by 1/10th place. And as you go down again, now we're accurate up to 1,000 items, but if we go beyond 1,000, it's going to round the last 2 digits. And, you know, you can usually get by with medium for a long, long time until you have, you know, over 100 or over 1,000 of an item. But again, I'd just rather, just whatever. You're a bookkeeper. Go do your job. We've already got a manager assigned. I don't really need a broker quite yet. We'll do that as soon as we get the wagon in. Oh, there we go. So, a caravan from Datan has arrived. The outpost liaison has arrived. So it zooms us over here to the wagon. That's what the trade caravan looks like. So I'm actually going to have to go ahead now and pick out my broker. Now we haven't really made anything useful yet. I actually completely forgot about doing that. So we're not going to have anything good to export, but that's okay. Let's go to roles and figure out who would be the best broker. Shem, who's apparently a fantastic bower. That's fine. So Shem, you are now my broker. Let's set your nickname and you are now called broker. Commit changes. I'm going to go back, noble screen, go to broker, and go to broker. Okay. Now the broker doesn't require anything, so it's grayed out. The manager here does require a meager office, so let's go ahead and give him one of these tables. Manager man, who's also the expedition leader. And now, when I look at it, it's going to say, you know, there's no red. So the only thing we're missing is that the bookkeeper could be better served. He wants a better dining room, and this guy is okay with the fact that he's got, you know, he's just barely met his requirement. And then the grayish means that there are no requirements. So, now that the outpost liaison is on the map and the trade caravan is on the way, let's go to the trade depot and start moving some goods to or from the depot. I'll press G and pull this up. Now, unfortunately, right now, my broker is terrible. He has no skill whatsoever in being a broker. So I can't see the value of any of my items. That also disables my ability to sort by value. So what I'm going to do is just leave it sort by distance, and let's just drag some stuff over. Let's drag over the leather. Actually, I want to keep the leather. Let's drag over that silver dagger and those cloaks that kobold had. And the bag of loot we'll keep because we can open it. And let's go ahead and sell the fungi wheelbarrow. And if we want, we can also select. I can just type. I press S, and then I can type wheelbarrow. I can see all my wheelbarrows. We only made one fungi wood wheelbarrow. Now, I want to briefly talk about what these symbols mean. Wooden wheelbarrow is a basic run-of-the-mill wheelbarrow. If I press V, I can view the good. We can't actually see much about it because, again, we can't see the value right here because our broker is an idiot. But we can see that this is just a wooden wheelbarrow. These minus symbols around it let you know that it's one quality level higher. We can see that this is a well-crafted wooden wheelbarrow. And there's various other symbols, like, say, this one here. It looks like ground or something. This is a finely crafted wooden wheelbarrow. And after he gets at least a little bit of experience, we'll be able to see the value of these items. But let's just move a couple of them there. So we got 4 items that we're going to drag over there. Actually, no, let's take a couple of the other wheelbarrows. We've got plenty of wood. We can make more. And it's really the only thing of value that we have right now. We'll take that one too. And we should see along the bottom now it's going to queue up making more wheelbarrows, because those wheelbarrows will not be ours anymore once we trade them off. And you can see dwarves dragging items there now. They're bringing them over. There's the wheelbarrow. There's the... you can see what items are in the trade depot now. Silver cloak, silver dagger, silk cloak rather, wheelbarrow. And a few more of them will get dragged out there. Apparently somebody's passed out in the middle of the depot, which is silly. There's the resuming production. Merchants have now arrived, so a couple of them have actually made it to the depot. And we can go back here again and click G, and we can see it says trading and not pending. So it means all the items I've assigned to be brought to the depot are now at the depot. So now I'm going to press R and say I want the broker to come to the depot so that I can trade. And I can also see what he's currently doing. Right now he's dumping an item. How are we coming on that front? Almost done. Just a couple more logs or a couple more stones to drag. He's drinking now.
We need to build a trade depot.
What are you talking about? I did build a trade depot. It's right there. Did it get destroyed somehow? It did. What happened to my trade depot? Interesting. We may have had just a bug of some sort. Let's build another one. Something in their wagon may have been it may have been meltable or something. It's interesting. I'm able to build with their blocks. Yeah, I think that something in their thing may have been meltable. I made that trade depot out of wood, and it seems like it got destroyed somehow. So hopefully we'll be able to fix this issue. We'll be able to build a new trade depot. This guy's building it right now. Build a new trade depot real quick, and the wagons are already on the map, so they're not going to go away. And we'll just get them to go on this one. I'm building this one out of blocks. Yeah, shift over there, guys. And don't burn this one down, please. Yep, go there. Okay, let's move those items again. So we wanted to take the dagger. We wanted to take the wheelbarrows. That's weird. Actually, the fungi wood ones are gone. They must have gotten destroyed. Very strange. And we'll request the depot. Okay. Alright, well this floor is done. So now I'm going to build a sea wall. And I want to build a wall right there. Let's go ahead and make it out of gabbro. And in order to guarantee that they build it from the right side, just a little trick you can do is build the wall. I do like to turn on the box select, because that allows me to do something like this, where I can make it like all of that is wall. I can press H to make it hollow, but most often I just usually end up using it to make like a line like this, versus having to do it the other way, which is to do where you've got to press U and K and M and all that stuff, which is kind of silly to me. Makes much more sense to designate like this. So I'm going to designate there, make it out of gabbro, and then I'm going to click on these three and suspend them. So I've just said build a wall here. Not really. Build a wall here. And when they go to build this wall, they can't stand there because I've designated walls. So I'm just guaranteeing they build it on the right side. They don't get trapped in the magma room. Okay, let a little bit more time go. Let's see, have you moved your items? One more is pending. Apparently the broker is making a wooden wheelbarrow instead of going to the depot. So this is an example where I'm going to now go into Dwarf Therapist. You can see that these bolded names are my nobles. I'm going to find my broker, and I'm going to right click, and I'm just going to click disable or clear all labors and commit. So sorry dude, you're not allowed to do anything anymore. Now there's another way you can force him to go to the depot, and that's to make a burrow and assign him to it. But the problem with doing that is that if he has an item in his possession, like he's dragging something somewhere, and then you confine him to a burrow, you're going to get flooded with spam saying cannot reach location, because he's going to be trying to drop off that item he had, and he can't go there because it's not in the burrow. So usually I find it's easier to just say that you can't do anything at all, and then now he's on his way to trade at depot. And as soon as that wall gets done. Now this is the outpost liaison. He's apparently talking to our expedition leader about what we want from them. Is he there? Yay, we can trade. Okay, so this is the trade interface. Interesting. So they have no items. Fantastic. Well here, you can have these fancy wheelbarrows that I've made. Take them. Shoot. Yeah, this unfortunately really got bugged out, so I don't want to offer them to you. I really don't. I actually want to trade, but you don't have anything to trade because apparently all of your stuff fell on the ground and is now mine, apparently. Let's check. Go to the stock screen, and now that we have a bookkeeper, we can actually see what we have. Yeah, like let's look at, say, for instance, what is something that we would not have made ourselves that we actually have? No, it's not saying that we own them, but they're all right there. Why don't you just pick them up and put them on the depot for me, please? What if I build a depot on the items? Can I do that? Let's build a depot right there. See if we can get that to work. And in the meantime, we will disable the trade. And we'll go ahead and select all and re-optimize, just so that the broker can go do something. Very strange. Okay, so the wall is now complete. So now I'm going to go through, I'm going to cancel out those fake walls. And this room is now completely closed off. No one can get in there, and no one can reach that wall, right? Not quite. Because of this little hatch and that ramp, that wall can actually be accessed from down here. So I'm going to click D and I'm going to dig that out. And just to make sure that it gets done right, well, actually there it is. See, it's flashing, meaning a miner's on his way to dig it out. It's kind of a weird mechanic, but this bridge is going to allow him to access it through the bridge. The bridge will prevent the lava from falling on him, and the lava is going to flow into this room. So we'll wait a second. As soon as that wall disappears, in pours the lava. And nothing's going to come down because the bridge prevents it. So we're flooding this whole room with lava. And now he wants to talk to us about what we request. So, well, I request all kinds of things, but you're not letting me trade with you. So, what do we want? I really don't want anything right now. I just want you to bring some stuff that I can trade for.